Hi, my name is Diana, and this video will be a walkthrough of what I did for the Project 1 assignment and a few demonstrations. Here on my screen, I have the Arduino sketch that I created. Just as a quick walkthrough, the way I implemented this is as follows. Here, I have two global arrays that essentially serve as Morse code maps. There's one for letters, A through Z, and there's another one for numbers from 0 through 9. Each array item has two pieces of information, and these are the decimal value for the binary representation of the Morse code for a character, and the number of bits that is required for that binary representation. Since Morse code contains two types of symbols, dot or no dot, I thought that representing it in binary would be an easy translation to implement. I'll revisit how I use these maps in a bit. So going down, I also have these two global variables. One is the input character, and the other one is a Boolean that I'm using as a flag called keep running. Next, I have the generic setup function where the digital pin or the LED that I'm using for this project gets initialized, and this is also where the serial communication with a board gets set up. Next, I have my output Morse function, and this takes in an index and a pointer to which map to index into for outputting the corresponding Morse code. So this function will look up the Morse code representation based on the index, and it uses bit shifting in order to look at each bit in the binary representation, and based on that value, it will either output high for 1 or low for 0. Then I have another simple function for outputting the letter space, which is just 3 empty dots. And then there's another main function called process char, which really means process character, and this takes in an input character. So in here, this is where I figure out what the map index should be based on the input character. I take advantage of the ASCII table and how each character has a unique value and how letters and numbers are in order. So I use the letter capital A for uppercase letters as the offset into the array, and I use a lowercase a for lowercase letters, and then I use 0 as the offset for number characters. So I subtract that from the input character, and that gives me an index for looking into the map to determine what Morse code representation to output to the LED. And here is the main loop. So in this function, I use the global flag keep running to determine whether the loop should keep prompting the user to enter a string, or if it should just go ahead and exit that loop, that while loop. So if keep running is true, then go ahead and prompt a user for a string, and while it's waiting for a character, it'll just go ahead and output low to the LED. And once there are characters, then while there are still characters, it will read in one character at a time. And if it's a sentinel character, then it'll set keep running to false. Otherwise, it will go ahead and process the character, stepping through the functions that are above. Anyway, so I will go ahead and do a quick demo now. First, I'll show what the output looks like on here, and then I'll go ahead and redo the same ones with the video of the Arduino. So I'll go ahead and upload this. So here you can see there's an enter a string prompt. So I'll go ahead and say hello world. and then it'll print each character as it processes the Morse code output. So right now I have each dot to be the duration of a quarter second. So took a little bit of time to get there, but after it outputs that string, it'll go ahead and ask for another one. So I'll go ahead and put in my name. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and enter a sentinel character. And once I do that, then it will stop asking for a string. So as you can see here, there's no more prompt enter a string, so the loop has been exited. So we've done the code walkthrough, but here is the actual physical setup that I have, which is pretty straightforward. I have a blue LED, which is connected to a resistor, which is then connected to pin number 8 over here, and then it's also connected to ground. So I'm going to go ahead and redo the same input examples from earlier, but since I already entered the Sentinel, I'm going to go ahead and re-upload the program so that we can get going again. Okay, so I have the map over here, which I'll be eyeing, but I will go ahead and enter Hello World. And we can watch the LED and look at the map over here. All right, so that's the end of Hello World. Next, I'll input my name. All right, so that was my name, and then I will go ahead and enter the Sentinel character. And then we won't be getting any additional prompts for entering a string. Okay, and then I'll just scroll down here. So there's a Sentinel in this case, and no more prompts. So that concludes my video. Thanks for watching.